Shalom Uvracha. The Pasuk says in Tehillim, in the parak that we read on Friday night, L'chu Naranana, it says there, Arbaim Shana Akut Bador. HaKadosh Baruch Hu struggles with a generation for 40 years. V'ama am to'ei levav heim. And Hashem says, these are men whose heart has strayed. V'en lo yadu drachai. They don't know my ways. This speaks about the sin of the spies. The generation that sinned in not placing trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu and not being willing to fight the wars of Hashem in conquering the land of Canaan, later the land of Israel. The people said, B'sinas Hashem oisanu, hotzionu miMitzrayim. Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim in His hatred because we don't have a chance. The people said, the spies said, and the people adopted the slogan, Ki chazaku mimenu. The land is too strong for us to conquer. Meaning, they didn't place their trust. And therefore, Asher nishbati be'api, the Pasuk completes the chapter of Tehillim. Asher nishbati be'api, I made an oath in my anger. Pen yavon el menuchasi, that they shouldn't enter into the land. And of course, ultimately, we did enter the land, but just the next generation. That generation didn't. Which generation did enter the land? The one upon whom our Pasuk in Parashat Balak, Balaam says a bracha. He says, Hein am kelavi yakum. A nation shall arise like a lion. V'charit nasa, right, like a lion or lioness. It shall raise itself. That's the Jewish people. From a place of not having the courage to enter the land, from a place of not trusting in Hashem, and therefore having the bravery and the courage to fight for that belief in Hashem, for that trust, for that national realization that can only take place in our own homeland. From there, we arise. We raise ourselves up to fight, says the Targum, says the Rishonim explain the Pasuk. It means, Hen am ke'ari yakum, we fight, we arise like a lion to fight against our enemies and to defeat them in battle and to conquer our own homeland. From a place of Arbaim Shana Akut Badar, of struggling with Hashem, we come to a place of rising and fighting. And I make this introduction in reference to a terrible event that overcame us this week in the Netzach Yehudah battalion, a battalion of Haredi soldiers. And I'm deeply involved with this battalion as part of the Netzach Yehudah organization that supports Haredi soldiers everywhere, but most prominently in the battalion which is called Netzach Yehudah. And we experienced the terrible loss this week of 4 of our finest, 4 wonderful boys who were killed in battle in Gaza, together with a 5th soldier who was killed, and together with another 14 who were wounded, different levels of injuries. And being at the funerals of these amazing boys was horrific, was harrowing, to see parents burying their own children, to see mothers eulogizing, giving eulogies for their children. To experience that tragedy was a harrowing experience. And at the same time, while we continue to experience and to share in the grief of those families, one couldn't help being at those levayot, being at those funerals, and experiencing the pasuk that I just mentioned, that we rise like a lion, that we raise ourselves to a place of strength, to a place of courage, that we see that even within Haredi society, which for so long didn't play a significant part within Israel's army, within the IDF, certainly not in combat duty, to hear the stories of these boys, that it's anything but taken for granted that they should reach the IDF, the more so in combat duty, but they fought. They fought just to get there in a society where it wasn't accepted to do so, but they struggled to make it to combat duty. And having made it there, they fought with all of their might, with incredible motivation against our enemy, fought for the sake of our homeland, fought the wars of Hashem, the wars of HaKadosh Baruch Hu against the enemies that fight against the Jewish people, and fighting against the Jewish people, say Chazal, is equivalent to fighting against Hashem. And these are the boys who are doing it. When we experience that, when we hear those stories, then we know that the Jewish people is making this transition from the place of Arba'im Shana Akut Bador, like the generation of the wilderness. So the Jewish people was in the wilderness for many a year. For thousands of years we were in the wilderness of the nations. And now we returned, we're back to our homeland. And when we see that even within the Haredi space, where it's anything but obvious to participate in the army, we see these soldiers who are coming in and they're making the ultimate sacrifice for the defense of the nations, fighting the battles of Hashem, then we know that we are living through the words of the Pasuk, Hen am ke'ari yakum, a nation that rises up like a lion. We are experiencing that today. And we know that the future with these soldiers, and Be'ezrat Hashem, God willing, this should be a trend that we should see expanding and proliferating. And it is, with units of Haredi soldiers that are entering into the IDF. We know that that combination of the courage, of the bravery of these soldiers, together with the emunah, together with the belief, the trust in Hashem that's leading us towards fulfilling our national destiny, we know that that will be the ultimate mending, the ultimate rectification of the original sin of the spies, that ultimate rectification of not having trust. We're bringing that trust. And if upon them it was said, Pen yava'un el menuchati, that they won't reach my resting place, they won't reach that ultimate destiny that we're going towards, then God willing, we will rectify that flaw, will rectify that curse that was given to that generation, and God willing, we will be able to reach that menuchati, that resting place, that destiny to which the Jewish people is leading. I would like to dedicate these Divrei Torah to the Iloi Neshama, to the souls and their elevation of these unbelievable soldiers. They don't need any elevation from us. They're in a place where no burial, like Chazal say, is able to reach, but nevertheless to dedicate it to them and to their memories. They should be an inspiration for us all, and we should be able to indeed reach in their merit the final destiny, the resting place to which we're headed. We should all have a beautiful Shabbos.